Okay. Okay, so hello, my name is Avery, and I did my speech on college athletes experiencing mental health. Imagine waking up every day to a packed schedule with early morning workouts, late night study sessions, and the constant pressure to perform at your best. Every day, a student athlete have faced these reality. For many, it leads to significant mental health struggles. While physical injuries are often discussed, not the mental side doesn't deserve as much attention as it. It's rarely given the attention it deserves. The stress and pressure placed on these students can be overwhelming, affecting not only their performance, but their overall well-being. As someone who's researched the mental health issues faced by college athletes, I understand how hard these challenges are. In fact, recent studies show that nearly 30% of all student athletes have faced these challenges of feeling overwhelmed and anxious at some point in their college career. Today, I will discuss the mental side of health challenges faced by college athletes, the impact it has on their lives, and how we can help support their human being. So for my main point one, mental health challenges faced by college athletes. College athletes face a lot of pressure, both academically and athletically. The constant need to perform at your best with competitions, training, and classwork can contribute to anxiety and stress. Many athletes have experienced social isolation as they often prioritize their sport over their mental health. This can also lead to feelings of loneliness and depression. Injuries are a common concern for athletes and are the fear of the beginning. The efforts of these mental health challenges can be profound, impacting every aspect of college life. And then you could.
Oh, did I go too far?
No, you're good. You're good.
Go back.
No, you're perfect. Okay, thank you, though. So here's my second main point, which is the impact of mental health issues on college athletes. The impact of mental health students on college athletes' stress and anxiety can lead to difficulty concentrating on coursework, affecting academic stress. Mental health struggles can impact on college performance on the field or the court. Anxiety and depression and stress can lead to a burnout, which also means failure and don't want to have the need to play your sport anymore and lose the love for the game. Fatigue and poor performances. Some athletes may turn to substance abuse as coping mechanism. In extreme cases, untreated mental health issues can lead to suicidal rates or even self-harm. For my third main point, which is supporting college athletes' mental health. Colleges should provide athletes with easy access to counseling, sources, and mental health professionals who specialize in the unique pressure faced by athletes. It's essential to reduce the stigma surrounding mental health in the athletic community. Coaches and athletes and staff should have an environment where speaking with their athletes and individuals can be a safe space. Peer support systems, mentor programs, and often communication between athletes and their coaches can help reduce the feeling of isolation and provide athletes with emotional support that they need, especially at the current state that they're facing. So personally for my story, for me, I know there's times in my season where all I cared about was basketball instead of my academics. So at one point, there's a couple of times where I was almost not failing my classes, but there was just times where I didn't feel like doing my classes because I didn't have the support system, or I didn't have, the feeling to do it. And I thought that I'd be okay with it, but it turned out, not everything's about your sports. I always thought that I was known for basketball, or I always thought, my school really didn't matter, but it's better to get your education than, fill it. So finally, in conclusion, we've explored the mental health challenges that college athletes have faced, from the pressure to perform to the impacts on the athletic and academic performance. I think it's finish slide. There you go. We've also discussed how providing access to mental health resources reduces stigma, and building support networks can make a difference. It's time we stop viewing mental health as an afterthought for college athletes and start prioritizing as a vital part of their overall well-being. If we can support athletes in both their physical and mental health, we'll help them achieve greater success both on and off the field. Thank you.
Oh, give me a break. Y'all better clap. Come on now. That wasn't even a church clap. Good Lord. No, I'm kidding. Good job, Avery. All right. In the queue, up next is Nakaya. In the hopper is, who is in the hopper? I think it's Naya. Thank you, my darling. I appreciate this so. You sent me something. No, I didn't. Okay. So do you want me to do a certain order?
This is mine, then.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then I got 10 extra for.
So then do me a favor. Wait, is this 16 you say?
I know, so this one, I know, for the muscle thing, yeah, that was the hardest example. And then
So this is black.
one up, okay.
And then. Which order? Tell me which order for what, and I'll be sure to show.
No way.
You said AI is last. Okay, so boy body. Boy body. First. Wait, so face to face is first? So face. Face. And then boy. Okay, so this one is first, this one second, this one second. Third, fourth, fifth. Okay, so 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I hope I do it right. I'll do my best. All right. Okay, go for it.
Hello, my name is Nakaya, and today my speech is about the impact of social media on society. One of the greatest inventions on this generation is social media, while it can shape you as a person or ruin your reputation. Social media has fundamentally altered how we connect and interact. These days, we talk less face-to-face and more all on social media. Research shows for adults, they are spending 30% time less face-to-face socializing, and teens, the decline in just over 45%. So almost 50% of teens talk face-to-face and on social media. People feel like, what's the point of seeing each other in person because you can watch them online? Such as, why make a drive to someone if you can just talk to them on FaceTime or talk to them on Instagram or anything? Social media fuels mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and it comes with cyberbullying. Social media heavily focuses on physical appearance, and that's why lots of people use editing tools and things to make themselves look social media approved. So people go to great lengths just to fit into what social media tells them that they should look like. And that's where depression comes in at. Because when you look nothing like what people tell you on social media, you try everything just to fit into what they say. And when people face to face, you don't look like what you do on social media. It comes with bullying or cyberbullying. And it feels like these days it's so much easier to bully or cyberbullying because people can make fake pages or anything. And you never know who they truly are. 41% of Americans have personally experienced some forms of online harassment, such as cyberbullying, stalking, things like that. Have you ever wondered, how does TikTok or Instagram always know what I want to see? AI is a big part of society now. With AI comes videos and photos that we see on media and has moved beyond simple filters, and they include highly manipulated and fabricated content. More than likely, you've been on TikTok and seen AI photos and videos. AI is on everything now, such as when you go on Instagram, you can ask AI questions, or when you go on Snapchat, you have an AI bot, or when you go on Google, you ask a question, the first thing that comes up is the AI answer. But AI is not always true or have the latest news out. And have you ever wonder why AI is being pushed onto us so hard. Well, in the workplace, corporate thinks it means that they have they don't have to rely on certain employees anymore. And with less employees means less money paid out to people. And with that said, social media is all about how you take things, because for one person, it could be a negative space, but for others, it won't be a negative space because you can block it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Nakia. Okay, next up. Naya, after Naya. Okay, so it's on campus information. Okay, hold on 1 second. All right, so then just for the list of who's who, so Naya's up next. After Naya, we have Fatima and Sanai. Got it? All right, and then after Sanai, it's Sel. Here. Let's get rid of this. So let me. Okay, you can get to it. I'll put it up.
Does anyone own a cat or a dog? Yes. No? Well, I own two cats, Jinx and Eno. And that's Eno over here, and Jinx is at the top. If you guys do have pets, I wanted to talk about raw fed diets for them. They have a wide range of benefits, and a lot of pet owners deserve to know how to elongate their pets' lives and give them a healthier lifestyle altogether. So I just want to explain the photo behind me a little bit. The one in the middle is the one that I'm going to be talking about. It was a photo or potential magazine cover that I made in Adobe Photoshop class. It's my brother. He's holding my cat, Eno. She is a chunky little cat, which you guys might be like, girl, what are you talking about when I get to the speech? But she's chunky and she's on a raw fed diet. That's my brother holding her. And then in the top area, like the far right, that's my other brother. He's a veterinarian in Texas and he works with animals on a daily basis. He also sells raw meat snacks for cats and dogs. So essentially, a raw diet consists of uncooked, in some cases, it can be unprocessed ingredients, including raw meat, organs, and bone. So I just want to talk about how they are considered to be an ancestral diet for cats and dogs. But there is also a concern to whether or not raw fed diets are safe for your animals, just because of like salmonella concerns and things like that. Along with the other benefits that they have, they can help your animals maintain a healthy weight, improve their immunity, digestion, and also give them a longer lifespan. So, what precautions should pet owners take? When it comes to preparing raw, separate ingredients for your pet's diets, things like foodborne pathogens, salmonella, and other bacteria can sneak its way into the food. So when it's done correctly, there shouldn't be an issue. Commercial prepared options like the ones I have behind me. We have Stella and Chewy, we have Redbird, and then we have Primal as well. Those offer a complete and balanced diet, which is the safest option, especially if you're just starting out with the raw fed diet for your pets. A little background on an ancestral diet and why it's important to an animal's life is that dogs and cats are essentially carnivores, so they like to eat meat. They need meat as their primary source of nutrition to achieve optimal health. Undomesticated cats have a diet that consists of primarily small mammals, birds, fish, and reptiles with a nutrient profile of 52% of protein. And canines are adaptable to various diets, meaning they'll just eat anything, but their natural diet included more than 50% of protein. So they need meat to properly survive and get all their benefits. With that being said, a large intake of cereals such as grains, rice, or other carbohydrates with an exclusion of meat can be linked to serious illness. So like the regular food that's in the stores and stuff, the hard food in the large bags and stuff like that is not completely beneficial for your pets, just because it's not a lot of moisture in that at all, and they only rely on water to get their hydration. And this means that a strict hard food or pebble diet is almost like eating cereal and water every day as a human for the rest of your life. And there wouldn't be too many benefits or satisfaction to that. Also, a raw fat diet reduces the fat intake of your pet because a raw diet consists of a variety of one ingredient proteins, such as pork and turkey. My cats love pork. That's why I use that as an example. We also have chicken and salmon, venison and rabbit, and there are more options as well. So by reducing the fat intake and increasing protein, this will maintain weight and even aid in weight loss if your pet needs to lose weight. Because in the United States, more than half of dogs are at 59% are considered to be overweight or obese. And then 61% of cats in the United States are overweight or obese. And an average cat should weigh anywhere between 8 and 12 pounds. That's why I said my cat is fat, but we're working on it because she's definitely more than 12 pounds. But pets being overweight or obese which can be due to a number of factors such as too many snacks, not enough exercise or activity, or lack of nutrition. So all of these things can kind of be monitored or improved with a raw fed diet. With a stable, healthy weight, your pet will feel better, look better, and live longer. But there is a cost to a raw fed diet. It is a little bit more expensive. It's definitely a commitment, I would say. But there's different ways you can incorporate it if you want to stick with the diet they already have with the cereal foods or whatever, or wet food. You can incorporate it slowly and just have a mixture which can aid in the cost because you're doing a little bit of both, not just strictly raw fed diets. While this sort of diet can extend your pet's lifespan, for instance, when a cat or dog eat the diets they were built to digest, it improves their immunity, which takes up for 70% of their immune systems. And commercial prepared raw foods hold omega fatty acids, probiotics, and prebiotics, and it can also aid in preventing disease and sickness. Because of their ancestral diet and the biology of their digestive tract, this diet allows for better absorption of nutrients, which can lead to improved skin and coat health as well. With all of these benefits, I did want to talk about how it can be another number on the receipt, like I kind of mentioned a little bit before. It's definitely worth seeing the improvement. I feel like from my personal experience, it can cost around an extra about $10 to $35 every other week by itself, or in addition to what your pets are already being fed. It's just depending on how you want to incorporate it into their diet. There are many pre-prepped raw food brands that make incorporating the raw food into your fur baby's diets with plans to completely switch over to a complete protein diet, like the brands I mentioned before, Stella and Chewy, Primal, Vital Essentials, and so many more are at the local pet supply stores. I do have a store that I love that's here. It's called Bark and Scratch. They have many different brands and a lot of different things you've probably never even thought of, like quail eggs and chicken feet and stuff like that, that you can try out for your cats and dogs. Yeah, so I do want to kind of talk about my experiences with my cats and their like transition to a raw fed diet. First, it was a little iffy. I did incorporate both at once to kind of get them introduced to raw feeding. At first I tried to just do it myself with actual raw food, like cutting up chicken and chicken hearts and stuff like that, but it wasn't as complete as I needed it to be. So once I found these brands, it made it much more easy for me and for them to just like enjoy it, and for me to just like make it easier for both of us, kind of. Because usually what I do now is, since they come in kind of like nuggets, I use the Primal nuggets. So I usually just put them in like the fridge overnight so they thaw out by the morning, and then do it again for the day ahead. And it's pretty much ready for them to eat. So I think if you're interested in it, it can be kind of fun. It's something new. They also have little snacks, like freeze-dried snacks. That's with the Redford treats I have up on here. So my cats usually eat the chicken snacks and the chicken hearts. I know it says for dogs, but cats can eat it too. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Although raw fed diets have some stipulations and they might be a little scary, they are proven to give the pets a healthier, more enjoyable life. So I would encourage anybody who's interested to take some time to research, and definitely speak with the vet to discuss more options before switching. That's it.
Stop, come on down, darling. So good. I know you signed it in, but I'm gonna keep this. It's fine. So you're, yeah, there's another student who, because she didn't have no cards, couldn't, so it's fine. I just want to take this
Okay.
so it's less about what you say in your words and more, points. And so
Yeah.
this will just help me as I was going through all your stuff.
Okay.
Yes, so this, you're,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't mind at all if y'all have a piece of paper. What I don't want to see is a cell phone. So don't come up here with no cell phone, because I'm gonna tell you sit down. Tell you take your cell phone and go to not Mount Mary University, somewhere. Oh, okay, thank you, darling. I appreciate it. So hold on one second. And you don't have a visual of me? You have one, okay. Awesome, okay. So here, I'm gonna do this, just because this thing is a little loud. Shout out to anybody using the projector, because it does make it a little louder. Can we see this? Should you wanted me to put it over here?
Sure.
Yep. There we go. Let's make sure we're still recording. Hi, Zoom. Okay, we have to do that randomly. Okay. So I think I might have to change this. Go ahead, stand here, dear. All right, you're good. Go for it.
The hardest challenge is to be yourself in a world where everyone is trying to make yourself somebody else. Phrase said by E.E. Cummings. Hello, once again. My name is Fatima, and today I will be talking about self-love. As this quote says, is why I believe it is important to insist on the priority to grow self-love in ourselves. But what is self-love, and how do we apply this in our lives? Even though I'm still in the journey to find the love within myself, I perceive self-love as embracing self-compassion, enjoying the presence of yourself to find peace, and overcoming perfectionism of yourself, along with many other key components that are crucial to our mental and physical body. Learning to apply this is not something that comes easy. However, we are strong and we will grow as life takes on. I want to introduce this visual board that I call Unconditional Love Notes. A few takeaways about this visual is that it's intended to provide uplifting phrases for yourself. I view it as a little calendar in which every morning you wake up and you grab a little note and you read the phrase that it says in it. And with the purpose to make you feel better. This is a great way to give yourself praise for pushing through another day, as I believe we sometimes tend to forget about our well-being in respect of emotional motivation and how we need to give ourselves the love that maybe others won't. And I will be passing out a note for you guys to grab maybe later once I'm done, or
Oh,
can I
you
do it right
do,
now?
you wanna keep talking and I do it? What you need from me?
Just like you can pass out the board and they can like pull out
Okay,
a little note.
all right, you keep talking. So everybody should grab a note to
Yep.
make this one. Go ahead, grab one.
Additionally, as I embrace the importance of self-love, a main key here is prioritizing compassion. What do I mean by this? Having compassion empowers you to take risks in life as proof of confidence within yourself. In bigger words, it opens new opportunities to try things that you thought you were incapable of and gives you the security to do so. In a journal called Thyself, Heal Thyself, the willingness to take risk and crack myself open for love, the author Raquel Angel stated, to heal though, it's required to keep opening yourself to take another chance to dissolve breaks one by one. Moreover, another way I perceive love is allowing yourself to find peace alone. Accepting quality time without being surrounded by anyone helps grow your admiration and resilience for yourself. It helps you acknowledge your strengths, weaknesses, and desires. But how exactly? Well, with the opportunity to hear and understand who you truly are, all with the purpose to face reality as it is and how important it is. Therefore, an article called Trinity Times, Why Learning to Love Being Alone is the Highest Form of Self-Love. The writer states, being alone is where I developed the true admiration for myself. I developed the ability to accept who I was, find confidence in the stability, and feel excitement for who I could become. Solitude creates space to reflect, dream, and open yourself up to all the wonders your mind has to offer. Furthermore, one of the last keys on the importance of embracing self-love, which I believe plays a big role in most of our part in lives, is learning how to reduce a sense of perfectionism in the eyes of others. In other words, overcoming being people pleasers. Embracing you as vulnerable around others and accepting who you are without expecting to be accepted is what this means. Practicing this type of act gives you an abundant life where nothing or no one affects you. A blog called Contented Mind, Why Improving Self-Worth is the Only Way to Stop People Pleasing for Life. The author Ramsbridge states, the problem is though that seeking validation from the outside will never lead to the feeling of being lovable that a people pleaser seeks, because it will always be temporary. In conclusion, allowing yourself to grow all these virtues in regards to self-love is important. However, cultivating it is not easy due to the circumstances that prevents us from having strong bonds within ourselves. But I encourage you to start being gentle with yourself and let love come to you. Even though I'm learning to show love to myself, the way I practice it is by saying no to things that are not beneficial for me. I give myself self-care days, which means getting coffee every day. And writing down like little notes so I can grab them in the morning as a reminder of how strong and how capable I am. I like to end off with a phrase that I get reminded of a lot by my relatives. In order to love others, you have to learn to love yourself first. Thank you.
I shouldn't I write it? Awesome, let me grab a note. One. I'm nosy. I wanna know what other people's notes said. Oh,
There's
okay,
extra
okay.
ones if you guys wanna.
Okay, right. All right, next up for you speak, come on down. Thank you for that, darling.
I'm gonna leave it here because you guys wanna.
As you should. I got over your thing, so I'll print it out and your pictures come up the way. So you can go when you're ready, Benjamin.
Hi guys, I'm Sinae and I'm gonna be talking about the power of music. I say music is not just entertainment, but it can like heal us, we can connect with others, and it can inspire us. From the soothing melodies that calm our minds to getting lit and turned. Music plays an important role in our lives, at least in mine, and in society as well. I'm going to tell you why I think music is pretty cool and healing. Research shows that music therapy can be effective in reducing stress and anxiety. According to the National Library of Medicine, music is a potential method of therapy and a means of accessing and stimulating specific cerebral circuits. So music can aid in pain management. It's used in hospitals for like people before going to surgery. I had an experience that I had to get a CT scan and they give you headphones and then they ask you what music you want. So it's like just for peace. Rhythms can really like, well, to me at least, can really like get to me, or like just the tone or the lyrics. Music allows people to express themselves in ways that maybe they're not able to say with their own words. And this shows the impact that music can have on our mental health and emotional well-being. Other than music therapy, I like to think about the energy, like at concerts, for example, like Summerfest or Mexican Fiesta, or just imagining seeing your favorite artist, like who
Chris
doesn't
Brown.
want,
Sorry.
not Chris Brown.
You said my favorite artist.
You like Chris Brown?
I mean, I just like seeing him perform. Like, I'm with you, he's problematic, but keep going.
Yeah, okay. This is where people from different backgrounds come together to enjoy an experience. In moments like these, nothing else matters, and you have a good time from either singing, dancing, or just even listening to the music. A quote from Save the Music Foundation, said by Barack Obama, is music brings us together, helping us reflect upon who we are, where we have come from, and what lies ahead. Music is perfect for setting a mood, and we can see it everywhere, literally, like the gym, an elevator, like during quiet class time, a waiting area, or if you're hanging out with your friends on the car ride, like it's seen everywhere. With these connections, music has the ability to inspire us and set the mood for our lives, whether it's the uplifting lyrics of a song that gets you motivated, or the soothing melodies that touch our soul, going into our emotions. Music can influence our thoughts and actions. The tone, rhythm, and beat and lyrics all contribute to how we feel when we listen to a piece of music. This emotional connection to music is what makes us a part of who we are. According to CNN Health, a study shows that music triggers the hormones oxytocin and serotonin, which is responsible for bonding, trust, and intimacy. Oxytocin is known as a love hormone. So it acts like, well, it influences behaviors and romantic attachment. Serotonin also plays a major role in your body that one's just like a happy hormone, both of them, I guess. In conclusion, music is far more than just an entertainment, and it has the ability to do many, many things. I wrote this speech listening to music. Well, I always have my headphones with me. My car actually, the radio stopped working, so I have a speaker with me now because the commute is so long. It's like 30 minutes, so I can't be in a silent car for so long. It's boring. But yeah, I'm always listening to music, and I think everyone else should too. That's it.
So the next three up, we have Itzel, Shamaya, and Meg.
Oh, yeah.
This is bringing joy. We can talk about it.
Oh, yeah, we're doing it.
Go for it. Let me get this off of here. Hold on. Let's do.
I want to preface by being embarrassed. I never wear clothes outside that I wear to bed. So today was a challenge. Anyways, hello and welcome to Snooze or Lose, the truth about sleep. Now, public survey, how many of y'all have perfect sleep? How many of y'all have ever had a time in your life where you're like, I like my sleep schedule. I feel like I have a good balance between life and sleep. Yeah, that is normal, which sucks. Okay. And after doing all of this like research, coming to find everyone's telling us like sleep is important. This is how you get good sleep. And unfortunately, that's not really realistic. So I decided to gather, you know, things that I could relate to, assuming you guys could also kind of pick and take things that are kind of a little more relatable to getting better sleep. So according to the CDC, you know, good sleep is important. We don't need CDC to tell us that. But getting proper sleep, which is for people our age 18 to like 60, it's like a broad range, but it's like 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And that's without naps. It's like just like a constant sleep. That's what's important. If you do that regularly, you would get like better health, better metabolism, which helps with like weight loss, emotional well-being, you know, lowering your stress, being able to just kind of wind down and reach that REM sleep, rapid eye movement, which is really when your brain is in like its full rest and it's kind of like rejuvenating itself for the next day. So reaching REM is like essential, and I'll get into how to reach that later. Enough sleep and good quality sleep are very different. So you can go to bed at like 7, wake up at 6 a.m. and you'd be like, oh, I went to bed for like 8 hours. Why am I tired? Because you didn't have good quality sleep. And with that comes, if you like listen to music, like say it's like lo-fi at night or like smooth jazz, or like when you fall asleep, you mentioned like your friend like goes to sleep and you woke up and there was like rap music playing. Your brain is literally still listening to that. Like you may not be conscious that you're listening, but your brain is like up and functioning. Like the gears are still turning. So you never actually got that good quality sleep, which would then affect you the next day. And you're like, I'm so tired. Why am I yawning so much? I'm feeling fatigued. And you're like, but I slept 8 hours. That's why. So that's like a conscious thing to think about. That's something that I think we could all relate to, and just kind of be more conscious of like, what's the volume at? What kind of music am I gonna play for the night? Like sound waves, that's less stimulating, but it's like that rap music, that like upbeat music, that EDM music, that's just like pops up out in the middle of nowhere. That'll like wake you up, but you're not really awake. So there's that. And so then trying to find that balance between college life and sleep, you know, we all struggle. And I'm sure the struggle continues past education. Yeah. So if achieved that good quality sleep, your health gets better in the sense that you get sick less, because I forgot what that word is called, but your immune system is a lot stronger because it gets to rejuvenate itself. It reduces stress, better mood, heart health, metabolism, you know, it avoids the risks of stroke, heart disease, high blood pressure in the long run. There's been a recent study where students who graduated in the years of like college for their bachelor's in like the years 2021 and the like 2016, they're starting to like go to the doctor more often because of high blood pressure, heart disease, and they're like completely fit. Like they're not like a concerning like 600 pounds, you know, they're like, they look like you and me, but they're having these crazy struggles, and that's due to the stress that they had. Like it's linking all back to the stress we're experiencing now. So really, like we have to catch it now before we start experiencing those things later, because there's been a good amount of studies, like the National Institute of Health, they're conducting all these studies and finding that sleep is important now, and it's gonna like go bite us in the bum later. So during the day also helps you reach that good sleep. You have to like walk, you know, I know a lot of people aren't like heavy lifters or like went to the gym like 2 hours a day every day, because it can be hard to reach that. For some people that's normal and that's great. But light exercises, just walking, parking farther, having to walk to your classes. When you go to the store, you know, park a little farther, don't park so close to the door. Because we're young, we're agile, we can do it, you know. Quiet, like a quiet and relaxing room is also essential for when you sleep, because the environment that you're putting yourself in is so important for the quality of sleep that you'll get. So if you're going to bed on like your sofa, watching Friends, you think you're not going to get that good of a sleep. And another important thing that I found was what you wear also helps how you sleep. If you go to bed in your day clothes, there's studies that show that if you go to bed in your day clothes, you get less quality sleep. And if you like intentionally put on your comfy sleep clothes, you will like, there's like some weird thing where it's like your body feels at peace and comfort. That's like, this is my sleep clothes and this is my day clothes. And that leads to another point where your bed should only be sleep time. Don't study in your bed. Don't eat in your bed. Like your bed is just for sleep. If you study in your bed, you're actually less productive as a student, because your brain correlates the bed to study time, which means not sleep time. So you're more likely to be awake in your bed when it's time for bed, but like your brain doesn't reach that because you're studying. So then it leads to fatigue, then like, yeah, all those things. Does that make sense?
Like you calling us out. Y'all feel called out, right?
Sorry,
I'm
like-
dang, y'all flake about it.
Yes, if you're like doing work on your computer, or if you're like replying to emails in your bed, oh yes, queen. Like your brain will be like, oh, it's work time, I guess, but you're literally in bed. So what are you doing? Not bed. And unfortunately, getting bad sleep can lead to some crazy health issues, like some like sleep disorders that I'm sure we know people have. Things like sleep apnea can help us, can avoid good sleep, which is like your body will literally stop breathing when you're asleep. And then there's restless leg syndrome, where your body, even when you're like in bed and you're lying down, you have this like need to like shake your leg, you know, and that's due to stress, probably some kind of trauma response. I don't want to call anyone out, but it's correlated to that. And then there's bruxism, which is when you clench your jaw. And that's also due to stress and due to some other underlying things. But when you clench your jaw, your body's not fully relaxed. And it happens when you don't even know it. So if you're stressed during the day and then you're going to bed, you're still stressed. You're just stressed with your eyes closed. So then, you know, there comes the big question, like, how do we balance sleep and student life, you know? And unfortunately, like, it's hard to balance that. And what I also found is that everyone's just different. No one's the same. There's not like here's a set of rules. This is how you get good sleep, you know? But a lot of common things that I found was setting a schedule. So schedule your sleep and prioritize that sleep. Like, that's the one thing that's important. So you know, like on iPhone, there's a set an alarm, or like your phone will literally tell you it's bedtime and it goes, you know, and it's like time for bed. It's like your wind down time. And like try it maybe one time out of the week. See how that goes, you know, give it a shot. Like, okay, it says it's time for bed. I'm gonna finish whatever I'm doing and I'm gonna go to sleep. Test it out. Maybe it'll work. And maybe you're like, yeah, this is stupid. I'm never doing this again. But at least you tried, you know? And then there's night stimulation. So if you have that screen up in your phone before you go to bed, you're not getting good quality sleep. We know that, you know. But again, give it a shot. Maybe it'll actually work. And then the other most important thing is bed is only for sleep. Bed is not for studying. Bed is not for eating. Bed is for sleep. And yeah, that is what I found. I hope that was helpful. Thank you.
Yep, well, did you send me an email of your? Okay, I'll take this. Take this. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Love this, so cute, your visual. Yes, I can. First off, I got to look at this first. I was, oh, there she goes, there she goes. Very fun. So fun. All right. Hit it when you're ready, my dear.
Okay. Was there ever a moment where you just needed advice, support, or encouragement? Family plays a big role in shaping emotional, social, and personal growth throughout a person's life. Emotionally, family provides security and resilience. Socially, it helps develop strong communication skills and the ability to form healthy relationships with others. Personally, family instills values, life skills, and guidance that support important decision-making. Therefore, maintaining a strong and positive relationship with your family is essential for your emotional well-being, personal development, and a strong support system in life. Family are known to provide unconditional love, comfort, and guidance during hard times. A strong relationship can open the door for communication where caregivers are more vulnerable with their child. Study shows that 89% of people with supportive family members tend to have better mental health. The same article stated, the stronger the social support for parents, the lower the scores for external and internal problems in children. Therefore, parents' involvement in social support has a positive outcome for children's mental health. It also affects the emotional well-being of the person's family. For mother, it helps reduce stress, prevent the feeling of isolation, and enhancing caregiving skills. Fathers, who often face obstacles in childcare involvement, benefit from programs and social support which can encourage greater participation in their child's life. Single caregivers who carry the responsibility of raising a single child rely heavily on support from their friends and family to reduce isolation and manage emotional and mental challenges. As for life lessons and personal growth, family members offer help in decision-making. They instill values such as responsibility, respect, and perseverance. Learning from their success and mistakes can guide your future. Without this, individuals may struggle to make important life changes. In terms of personal growth, research constantly shows that when family members are actively involved in a child's education, it has a positive income on their academic performance. Children with supportive family involvement tend to perform better in school than children without family engagement. This connection between family support and academic success is recognized not only by researchers, but also policymakers, which also help them come up with strategies to encourage great family participation, like in their education. A weak family relationship might mean missing out on essential life lessons, such as learning responsibility and problem solving. Without strong family support, some individuals may turn to their peers or community, or even some negative coping skills like smoking, hanging out with their friends, like going places, knowing that you shouldn't be there just to feel like the need for like support from others and stuff. And it can lead to long-term challenges and regrets later on in their life. A strong relationship can strengthen family bonds and create long-lasting memories, It provides encouragement during the difficult times and guidance. Overall, a family relationship lays the foundation for emotional stability, the ability to adapt to your community, and personal development. It reinforces the importance of strong family bonds and leading to a fulfilling life. While not everyone has a perfect relationship with their family, making efforts to improve communication and understanding with your family members can be beneficial. Recognizing the impact or a distant or strained relationship is the first step towards healing and personal growth. And it also, you can find a relationship you never know you needed. A strong support system is not just beneficial, but essential for your well-being. Whether it's friends or family, having people to rely on for hard times can improve mental and physical health. We should all take a moment today to express gratitude and strengthen our bonds with family and friends. It's a connection that lasts a lifetime. And then as you can see here, I have some pictures of me and my sister. It's me and my sister again, and my auntie and my little sister. This is a picture of when I was at prom with my uncle and my auntie. And right here is graduation with my mom. Right here at the top is me and my friends, and we were at the movies. And then this is my book thing.
Right here is the USA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
And then
okay.
this is just another picture with like grandparents. That could be family. What else? This is a woman love woman relationship. Two dads and their kids. Two dads and their kids. Just a single father and his kid. Yeah. So yeah, family is important.
All right, up next is Miss Megan. To follow, we have Lily, Ryda, and Zella. Thank you, my darling. I appreciate this. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sure you gave me instructions. I know you have a break.
I might have sent it last week.
What's Reese? I was just thinking.
Oh, I did
email.
send it.
Yeah,
I saw
I
it.
emailed them. Did I? Oh, okay, see, I'm in. Ready to roll when you are.
Okay. Imagine waking up every day fighting a battle that no one else can see. You walk into a room, you smile, you talk with the people around you, you laugh at jokes, but still no one notices the pain, the fatigue, and the fear you're holding back. For me, that's my ulcerative colitis. I was diagnosed at 13, but had suffered in silence and misdiagnoses from doctors for years prior. There's a picture of me about 3 months after I was diagnosed. I spent over 3 months in the hospital at a time. It's a chronic illness that can make it really hard to function some days, yet to the outside world, I look perfectly fine even today. And I'm not alone. Millions of people live with similar invisible battles, mental health struggles, chronic illnesses, neurological conditions, and their realities are just as valid as any visible disability. But because you can't see it, it often gets dismissed, ignored, or worse, mocked. I've lived this, I am living this, and today I want to talk about it. 1 in 10 Americans have an invisible disability, and that's a lot. We have about 15 people in this room. That means like 1.5 of us statistically will have an invisible disability in our lifetime. Today, I will talk about the social stigma surrounding invisible disabilities, the daily struggles that people go through with them, and also my story and ways that people can change their beliefs in order to help people with invisible disabilities. Invisible disabilities are medical conditions that are not immediately obvious to others. Like I said, this can be mental health, it can be traumatic brain injury, it can be cancer, it can be asthma, anything that you just can't see. But at the same time, invisible does not equal imaginary. People are still going through battles even if you can't see them. They can be up and walking around doing the same things that you are, but are still constantly fighting a battle on the inside. According to accessibility.com,
Many people with invisible disabilities avoid disclosing their condition due to fear of being labeled, treated differently, or disbelieved. This is something I went through. I had teachers tell me I was faking it to get out of school. I had doctors telling me that they could not diagnose me with anything because I was faking it. And even my own parents half the time told me that I was just trying to get out of school. I had friends that no longer talked to me because I missed birthday parties because I was in the hospital and they believed that I was just faking it. And this is what happens to a lot of people. Actually, 50% of people that have an invisible disability don't disclose it to their jobs and they don't disclose it to their school out of fear of being judged for looking normal. But this leads to a lot of different emotional toil, including isolation from the people around them because they don't want people to find out. And also sometimes they start to disbelieve their own condition and their own symptoms just because the people around them don't believe them. The stigma isn't the only challenge that living with these disabilities have. Living with these conditions bring daily struggle. It comes with chronic symptoms that are unpredictable. It can be migraines. Like this morning, I woke up with a headache that hasn't gone away, but I still had to get up, still had to come here, still had to give a speech, and just have to battle through it. It can be stomach pain. It can be asthma attacks. It can be anything that is unpredictable in your life. It also comes with constant planning. I have to have multiple medications on me at all times because I don't know when pain will start and when I'll need to give myself medication to relieve the pain. It comes with random flare-ups. You might have to put your life on hold to go into the hospital for weeks or days at a time, sometimes even months, to get the treatment that you need. And the biggest one that I know from people that have invisible disabilities is fatigue. It is so hard to get up and get out of bed and have the motivation to do the things you need to do simply because you don't have the energy, because so much of your life is dedicated to daily pain. And then 61 million people in America are disabled and go through these problems. And most of those are invisible. So that's a lot of people that have invisible disabilities. And also with this, people that have invisible disabilities tend to go on to also have mental health problems because they aren't being believed. 60% of people with an invisible disability end up being diagnosed with depression or anxiety within 3 months of getting their diagnosis. And I've lived this. Immediately after my diagnosis, I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and OCD-like tendencies. And those all stemmed from being diagnosed with an invisible disability and people not believing me or not having a support system. It's hard enough to be sick, but being sick mentally, physically, and also just disbelieved, that's insufferable or unbearable. And I know because I've lived it. So now I'm going to share a little bit more about my story. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis when I was 13 years old. But before that, I was misdiagnosed from the age of 4 with a milk allergy because doctors didn't want to believe that I had ulcerative colitis. I was invalidated, like I said, by friends, peers, teachers, students, my parents, and everyone around me. And I ended up missing 200 days of school from freshman to senior year, but I was still able to graduate with high honors, which was super important for me. And the only thing that really helped is I found a community. I went to something called Camp Oasis when I was about 14 years old. And I got to meet a lot of people with ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. And I was able to see that I wasn't alone. And it helped me find a purpose. I started competing with the Miss America organization. And with this, I was able to have a platform where I advocate for invisible disabilities everywhere that I go. I get to talk about it on the Miss Wisconsin stage. I go to different community events and I get to just advocate for invisible disabilities to help the people around me. And then ways that you can help. The number one thing is to believe someone when they tell you they're going through something. A lot of people have things going on the inside that you just aren't able to see. And the number one thing that helps them is belief from the people around you. Educate yourself. If someone tells you they have a disability, figure out what you can do to help them by just educating yourself on what the disability is and what they need. Speak up. If you see someone being mocked or made fun of in any way, it doesn't just have to be because they have a disability. You can speak up about it and you can say something. And also the number one thing is be kind, because what we don't see can still hurt. And the people living through it need to see beyond the surface. Today, we looked at the harsh realities of living with an invisible disability. We unpacked the stigma, the daily challenges, and the emotional toll these conditions take on millions of people. And I shared a small part of my own journey, one filled with pain, growth, and resilience. Invisible disabilities are real, and they deserve to be treated the same way. It's time we stop dismissing what we can't see and start responding with empathy, with understanding, and with action. So next time you meet someone who seems fine, I challenge you to look just a little bit deeper. They might be fighting a battle you know nothing about. Let's build a world where all disabilities, seen or unseen, are treated with dignity and the respect that they deserve.
Thank you, Meg. All right, we got Lily, Ryder, and Zella. Those are the names I have on the list to present. So do make sure that your name shows up in order to present. I was gonna say, you don't have to print out your thing. I have it on.
Okay.
So. Oh, wait, so I know I said I would do it, but since it's on. Oh, go ahead.
Being an athlete is seen as just playing your sport and putting the effort in all that. But it is so much more than just a physical game. It's psychological, it's mental. There's so many more aspects to being an athlete than just being physically in shape and being out field, court, anywhere and putting the effort in. You have to put the effort in to not just your team and yourself to be better. You have to put the effort in to be mentally prepared and mentally better as well. It's so important to really advocate to athletes to make sure that they are not just looking after themselves physically, but also mentally. Both factors play a huge part together. If an athlete isn't mentally prepared, that could physically put them in harm, because if you're not prepared for a play to happen and all of a sudden you get flattened out, it's gonna be an issue if you weren't prepared for it. And if physically something goes wrong, one of the 40% depression anxiety rates for those athletes that get injured. And that's not just the time they have to go out, it's also the time that it takes for them to fully recover from the injury and the injury in a whole. For there is just performance anxiety, identity struggle, and the fear of failure. That's all plays part in being an athlete, not just playing the sport. For performance anxiety, a very common issue is stress and anxiety. This can affect your sleep, which then, like Itzel said, affects so much more than just that day. It can affect the rest of your life in a way. And a huge issue with performance anxiety is the choking under pressure. Most athletes are able to push through and almost use that adrenaline rush to help them, but in many cases as well, it can harm them more. It causes them to go under great amount of stress and have the just pressure and fear of failing and just constantly repeating over and over that something's gonna go wrong, you're not ready, all this stuff, and just doubting yourself over and over again. Michael Phelps, for example, went through immense anxiety and depression, and he really started to talk about it a lot in a lot of interviews. Just kind of making sure that you're have somebody to talk to and have that balance point is so important. That as not just everybody should be having that support system, but as an athlete, that support system is immensely needed. Identity struggle is so common as well, because for many people, you are tied to your sport. This is the sport that you've done since you were 8 years old. That's all you know. So when that point changes, either an injury happens that ends your career, or you end up graduating and not getting into a college, or you completed your college years, something will happen and you eventually cannot do that sport anymore. And that is something that you lived and breathed over and over and over again. It just ends up giving you just a sense of not knowing who you are anymore without that sport. Because, you know, for me personally, softball, for example, I played it since I was 10 years old all the way up till right now. I'm playing it until probably like 20, 21, 22-ish. So at that point, once that's over for me, I won't even know. Like, I need to have that set up to figure out what to do with the rest of my life. And that is so important that it's just not looked at that athletes need to have this plan at the end once it comes to conclusion, because they're never prepared for that. you're never prepared for your last game ever. It just happens, and you just pops up on you out of nowhere. And it is so important that we give them the support system and what next, because you go from knowing what you're going to do every day. You're going to have practice from 1 to 3, from 4 to 6. You're going to have practice at some point, and all of a sudden that's not a common thing anymore. And then you just don't know what to do with your time. And this is really when depression comes in and anxiety, because you went from knowing a set schedule to all of a sudden you don't even know what to do with your life anymore. You're just kind of walking around and kind of feeling like a shell of a person because that was your identity. And something else too is how much the media affects people, not quite at a little kid level, but more for college athletes and professional athletes. The media plays such a big part. You're constantly being criticized, and like everybody's looking at every little step that you make, and you're just put under such a microscope. It causes such anxiety, and it can really get to a person very, very quickly. For example, the mental exhaustion that comes into it. There was an NFL player. He was about 29 years old, Andrew Luck. He had chronic illnesses all throughout his life. And then all of a sudden, he just couldn't play football anymore, and he didn't know what to do with his life. And he went into a deep depression about it. And it's just so important that we advocate for athletes and their mental health and understand that it's so much more than just a physical game. It's a psychological game. And it is so important that we look at this and we see how many issues there are, and there needs to be more help. And there is help that's getting brought up. There's therapists that kind of just focus on athletes and their mental health on that. And it just becomes so evident that it's important not to just celebrate when they have victories, but to celebrate them advocating for themselves and their mental health.
All right. Do not forget, you all, feedback form is open. I reshared it again. Do give your classmates feedback on their speech and presentation. Up next, we got Ryda.
Today I'll be talking about why laughter is the best medicine. Laughter isn't just about having a good time, it's actually one of the best medicines we've got, with benefits that go way beyond a few chuckles. I know times where I've been very sad, and just a few seconds of laughing made my whole day even better. As someone who's into health and wellness, I've come across some really interesting studies that show how laughter isn't just about fun. It's about being powerful for your overall health. It's a natural remedy that can reduce stress, boost your immune system, and even help with pain. In this talk, I'm going to break down why laughter reduces stress, boosts immunity, eases pain, and even helps with mental well-being and social connections. Laughter helps reduce stress. Stress is something I know that we all deal with, but did you know that laughter can actually lower cortisol levels? Cortisol is a stress hormone, and studies have shown that laughing can reduce its presence in your body, helping you feel less stressed. A quote by Milton Berle really sums this up. Laughter is an instant vacation, highlighting how laughter can be a quick escape from life's pressures. Not only does laughter reduce cortisol, but it also triggers the release of endorphins, which are chemicals in your brain that make you feel good. This is why laughter can make you feel relaxed and happy. In fact, laughter yoga has been shown to reduce anxiety and help people chill out even in tough situations. Hospitals have also used laughter therapy to help their patients relax during treatment. showing that it can bring relief even when things get tough. But laughter doesn't just help with short-term stress. It can lower chronic stress levels as well. Chronic stress can cause all kinds of health problems, like heart disease and sleep issues. So by reducing stress over time, laughter might actually help prevent these problems. Plus, laughter is very contagious. When you laugh with others, it creates a sense of friendship and a connection and support, which is more important than ever. Especially with how lonely people feel these days. Now I'm gonna be talking about how laughter helps boost the immune system. Research has found that people who laugh a lot tend to have stronger immune systems, and because of that, they have higher levels of disease-fighting cells like antibodies and T cells. Even cancer patients who participated in laughter therapy showed better immune responses and a higher quality of life. And the best part of it all is that the stress-reducing effects of laughter can actually improve your immune system too. Less stress means less inflammation, which helps your body stay strong. Laughter even helps improve sleep, which gives your immune system time to recharge and fight off possible infections. Another benefit of laughter is that it can help you with pain. It activates part of your brain that reduces how much pain you feel, thanks to the endorphins it releases. This is especially helpful for people with chronic pain conditions like arthritis. But it's not just physical pain that laughter helps with. It can also help ease emotional pain like grief or heartbreak. Laughing allows us to gain some perspective and cope with tough situations. It's a way of boosting emotional resilience and looking at things with a more positive mindset. When it comes to mental health, laughter does wonders. It helps fight off anxiety and depression by giving you that boost of joy and relaxation. Those endorphins we talked about earlier, they improve your mood and create a sense of happiness, which can be really helpful for anyone struggling with mental health issues. Laughter therapy has actually been used alongside other treatments for anxiety and depression, offering a natural and fun way to handle emotions. Laughter also helps promote a positive mindset. People who laugh more tend to see the world through a more optimistic lens, which helps them deal with stress and challenges even better. Studies have shown that laughter can boost cognitive function, making it easier to think clearly, solve problems, and be creative. And then there's the social side of laughter. We're social creatures, and laughter helps us bond with others. Laughing together builds trust, friendship, and a sense of belonging, which is crucial for our emotional well-being. Whether it's laughing with a friend or watching a funny movie with family, these moments create memories that strengthen our relationships. In the workplace, teams that laugh together tend to work better together. Laughter improves creativity, cooperation, and morale. So to sum it up, laughter is a total game changer for our health. It helps reduce stress by lowering cortisol levels. It boosts our immune system by increasing disease-fighting cells and gives us pain relief. It also promotes mental well-being by boosting mood and cognitive function. Plus, it's a great way for building social connections and making life a little more enjoyable. Laughter is a free, powerful tool that can really improve our health and well-being. So next time you're feeling stressed or down, remember that you should keep those around you who boost your mood and help you laugh a little more than those who bring your mood down. Remember that a good laugh might just be the best medicine you need. So let's laugh more and live better.
That's a good idea, by the way. This little pour box, I like that. All righty. Miss Zella, you are next, my darling. Wait, she not here? She needs to sign that.
Yeah. Hi. I want to start with the moment we all know. It's late, your homework is due, but instead you're scrolling on your phone or doing something else. That is procrastination, and we all been there. But why do we do it? I'm going to explain 3 reasons. One reason is what is going on in our brain, psychological. 2, our emotion. 3 is our environment. Let's start with our brain. Procrastination isn't about being lazy or avoiding stuff. It's about avoiding stress. Our brain wants to dodge discomfort and do something else. Dr. Pierre, a psychological expert, said that people who are struggling with self-control are easily distracted, are most likely to procrastinate. Our brain prefers short-term rewards over long-term efforts. This happened even more with the students who are juggling a lot. Sometimes when we delay tasks, it's just really our brain trying to protect us from stress. And let's talk about emotional and environmental. A lot of people procrastinate because of fear, like fear of failing. Some of us even fear success because it means people expect more from us. Next time, so what do? We delay the task. That way, if we fail, we can just be like, oh, well, I didn't even try. Instead of feeling like we're not smart, that is called self-sabotage. It's where we protect our self-esteem. We also make big difference in environment. Anything that make us hard to focus, it's the space around us that does not work, make us feel motivated. It's easier to get distracted. Sometimes being tired, hungry can lead to procrastinating. To sum it up, procrastination is not just about poor time management. It's the mix of our brain avoiding discomfort, emotion like fear or doubt, or an environmental full of distraction. Understanding this does not mean we will stop procrastinating completely, but it helps us to be kinder to ourselves. Try to make small changes like creating better study space or getting more sleep, or even rewarding yourself. And then the next slide. That was like, yeah, yeah. And here's the static of procrastination. And yeah.
Thank you, Sahana. All right, y'all, guess what? You did your speeches. It's over. These 3 weeks, you are done. Yay. All right, friends. So, what is due? So, because, wait, let's tell Zoom bye. Hold on. Bye, Zoom. Hold on. Everybody say bye to Zoom. Bye. All right, sorry. All right, hold on one sec. Stop recording. Okay.